When Sarah's text flashed across my screen that evening, I froze. Taking a trip with my ex, don't get jealous. It wasn't just the message. It was the smugness dripping from it. For 4 years, I had given her patience, loyalty, and understanding. I worked long hours, paid the bills, and did everything I could to keep our relationship balanced. And yet here she was, casually declaring a getaway with the same man she once claimed had shattered her beyond repair. I stared at her words, chest tightening, hands going cold. Did she really expect me to smile and wave as she packed a suitcase for another man? A bitter laugh slipped out. For months, I had noticed her phone flipping face down whenever I entered the room, the late-night whispers, the sudden excuses to stay out. I kept telling myself I was imagining things, that I was being paranoid. But now she had written the truth herself, without shame. She wasn't asking permission. She was mocking me, as if I were a fool who would sit quietly and wait for her to return. She expected jealousy, maybe even a desperate plea for her to stay. But I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction. With trembling hands, I typed back, "Don't worry. I won't be here when you come back." No edits. No hesitation. I hit send, and for the first time in years, I felt a strange calm. I could almost picture her smirk fading into confusion as she read my reply. She had always held the power, always relied on me to swallow my pride just to keep her happy. But not this time. My message wasn't an empty threat, it was a promise. That night, I quietly packed my things. Every shirt folded neatly, every drawer emptied. Looking around the apartment, our so-called love nest, I realized how many warning signs I had ignored. The scent of her perfume on the couch, the photos of her smiling wider than she ever did with me. Everything suddenly felt fake. By midnight, my bags were in the car. My decision wasn't fueled by anger alone. It was clarity. Sarah thought she had me trapped, that I'd always be her safety net. But with one careless message, she had destroyed the illusion of control she held. The next morning, my phone buzzed nonstop with her texts. At first, playful. "Wait, what do you mean you won't be here?" Then annoyed. "Are you really upset?" "It's just a trip." And finally, panicked. "Where are you? Please answer me." I didn't respond. I was already on the highway, leaving behind not just the apartment, but years of compromise. Every moment I'd sacrificed my dignity for her happiness. My silence said everything words couldn't. I rented a small place across town. Nothing fancy, but peaceful. For the first time in a long while, I felt light. No constant mood swings to tiptoe around. No eggshells underfoot. No begging for scraps of affection. Freedom had a sharp, almost bitter taste, but it was mine. 2 days later, Jason, a mutual friend, called me. His voice was thick with disbelief. "Man, Sarah's telling everyone you left her just because she went on some harmless trip. Says you overreacted." I chuckled, though there was no humor in it. Harmless? She went with her ex. What did she expect me to do? Send them a gift basket? Jason was quiet for a beat. Then he said something that stuck with me. "Honestly, everyone can see what really happened. She's just mad you didn't play your part. You didn't beg. You didn't fight. You just walked away. That's what's driving her crazy." And he was right. Sarah had always thrived on control, on drama, chaos, and rehearsed apologies. Those were her weapons. But this time, I had taken the stage away. Silence was the only response she got, and it was louder than any argument could ever be. Later that week, she showed up at my new place. I didn't open the door. Through the wood, her voice wavered, bouncing between anger and desperation. "You can't just walk away from everything we built. It was only a trip. I needed space, I needed clarity. Don't throw us away over this." Her words rang hollow. She hadn't needed space when I covered her rent, when she borrowed my car, when she leaned on me to fix her messes. No, the only time she wanted space was when her ex reappeared. I stood there, listening but unmoved. This wasn't about love anymore. It was about respect. And once that was gone, nothing could bring it back. Days turned to weeks. Her messages grew shorter, colder, more spiteful. What began as pleading soon shifted into blame. You never loved me. You're heartless. You were just looking for an excuse to leave. But her words no longer cut the way she hoped. For once, I saw through her attempts without letting them sink in. She was unraveling, and I was finally free. I threw myself into rebuilding my life, working harder, hitting the gym, reconnecting with friends I'd neglected. Even the smallest things, like taking an evening walk without explaining myself, felt liberating. That kind of freedom was worth more than anything Sarah had ever given me. One evening, Jason sent me a screenshot from Sarah's social media. She had posted a photo with her ex, captioned with some vague line about finding herself and true love never dying. But the comments weren't what she probably expected. People called her out, mocked her choices, pointed out the disrespect. I didn't respond. I didn't even feel anger. I simply closed the screen and smiled. Life has a way of revealing the truth without my help. A month later, Sarah appeared at my door again. This time, she wasn't angry. She was broken. Her voice shook as she admitted the trip had been a disaster. Old arguments, old wounds. Nothing had changed with her ex. I made a mistake, she whispered. I thought he'd changed, but he hasn't. You were the stable one, the one who cared. Please give me another chance. I studied her quietly. There was a time when those words would have meant everything to me. But now they meant nothing. I did love you, I told her gently. But love doesn't survive without respect. You made your choice when you boarded that plane. I made mine when I walked away. Tears filled her eyes, but I didn't falter. She left that night, and I closed the door. Not with anger or regret, but with finality. For the first time in years, I wasn't chasing, fixing, or waiting. I was simply living. And that, I realized, was the sweetest revenge of all.